Welcome to the Girl Gang. I'm Katrina Gardner of Katrina and Create.
And I'm Dominique Goyette-Connerty of Evergreen Marketing. On this show, we're going to chat with women business owners in Massachusetts and those who support local women in business.
Because girls don't just want to have fun. They also want to sell real estate.
They want to open a brewery.
They want to teach others to invest in the stock market.
They want to take stunning photos, plan lavish parties, and help people recover from injuries.
Girls just want a podcast.
What can we say?
We're girls.
Welcome to Girls Just Wanna.
Welcome.
And we have new mics again this time. So if you were like, something's off about the microphones the last two episodes, you were correct. Yeah.
You know, what do they say? It's better to try and fail than to not have tried at all.
Wow. Yes, it is. Good job. Very philosophical.
You
Love
know.
that for you. Yeah, we were trying out new mics and we thought they were good to go and they were not. So then Katrina had to work her little booty off in the post-edit, whatever the hell. And it was tough. So, new mics, let's do this. And hopefully these sound good. We're going to do some more testing before the guest gets here. But
I also have backups in place this time.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So,
So
that's what's going on. Katrina, you have a 4-year-old.
I do. Jamie turned 4.
Insane.
Oh, he is so cute. Oh my goodness. He was sick on his birthday. He was sick on his birthday last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when your birthday is at the beginning of February,
that's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
Yeah. The odds that you will be sick on your birthday, I think, are higher.
As a young child who's like in school with other, young children who are carrying all sorts of illnesses.
And it is one of those years that we've been having for like the last 5 years where viruses are running wild.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was sick, but he had a fabulous birthday. His birthday party is this weekend, so we still have that to do. But we did take him to Target on his birthday. He rallied a little bit after a midday nap, and he picked out a giant T-Rex toy.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was good for him.
Exciting.
And he's just such a little man, very grown up. Still tells me to smile all the time. That's okay.
Hate that for us.
He calls me a silly goose every day.
Love that for us.
Yeah. So he's pretty great.
So he's 50-50 in my book. Jury's still out on this kid. I'm not warming up anytime soon, okay?
Yeah. Although I have started to do it back to him. Jamie, smile when he's cranky and he gets mad at me. And I'm like, yeah, no shit.
We also have some exciting news.
We do.
We are teaming up with the organization you have heard us mention far too many times on this podcast, the Young Professional Women's Association of Worcester, so YPWA Worcester.
Yeah.
They have reached out to us. We are going to do a little code for you, a promo code. So if you want to buy a membership to their organization, you will get $20 off.
Yeah.
Using code podcast 2025.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That's a good deal.
It's a good deal. The membership is really not that expensive.
Yeah.
It's very inexpensive, actually.
Yeah.
And so it's a great group. I'm sure you've heard us talk about it ad nauseum at this point, but it's not just, professional networking and stuffiness. It's also social networking. So we kind of do a mix of both. There's a lot of really cool women in the group and who go to the events.
It's a really great way to meet different people, not just the people in the group, but you get introduced to different locations in Worcester. All the different events take place at different restaurants or whatever else. So it's really nice to get introduced to new places to go. And also usually the owners of these places will come out and say something sometimes, or whoever is speaking at the event. It's just a nice way to get involved in the Worcester area and meet people and have fun and learn about new cool things in the area. So.
Yeah. So from one gal gang to another, you now have connections and you have a discount code for a membership.
Yeah.
So go to their website. It's ypwaworcester.com, I believe. And if that's wrong, Google it. I mean, I can't do everything for you.
No, that's it.
And enter the promo code podcast 2025 to get their annual membership.
And then we'll see you at some of the events. I think
Yeah.
I'm going to one of the upcoming ones, which is a self-defense class.
Heck yeah.
Because I love me some self-defense.
Yeah. And I think I'll be there. So,
Yeah.
all right. Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. Welcome to Girls Just Wanna podcast. We have with us Chantal Gipson and Kim Kisil, and a very special third guest, youngest podcast guest ever on this show,
So
Kira.
Yay!
So Chantal and Kim are members of the board of directors of Northeast Women's Disc Golf.
Yes.
I'm like doing the acronym in my head. NEWDG.
Yes.
Perfect.
Love
okay.
We say NEWDG for short.
NEWDG.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that
NEWDG.
better. I like that better. Well, tell us about what NEWDG is and your organization's mission, what you do,
Yeah.
all the stuff.
Sure. So our organization's mission is to encourage and inspire women of the Northeast to grow their involvement in disc golf through education, empowerment, recognition, and community. So we're run by women. We try to get women as involved in disc golf as possible and kind of create a space for them to participate in a way that's comfortable for them, welcoming, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and we'll get into more detail about what that looks like. for
Yeah.
sure.
So let's like back up first, because Katrina and I were talking right before you got here, and we were both like, I barely know what disc golf is, which is why we thought it'd be so cool to have you on the podcast. Like we've never had, I don't think we've had like
It's
women in
also-
sports at all, really.
To be fair, one of like my best friends, they have like disc golf set up in their backyard. So like, you know, I think they bought the house with it like that. Like they like
Right.
bought this house and they're like, oh cool. Like we've got disc golf in our woods. And I was like, that's great. I'm gonna drink some wine inside. But like
So maybe we're just like out of the circle.
No, absolutely. It's one of those sports where, like, if you're not looking for it, you would never find it. But like, if you go to a local park and you see one of those like weird metal baskets, you're like, oh, what's that about? And then like once you start digging into it a little bit, you're like, oh, like with a lot of like random sport hobbies, it's like there's this whole subculture that like didn't even know I wouldn't even thought to even look into until I decided to do this deep dive. It's wild.
And has it risen in popularity like more recently, like the last decade or so? I feel like that's the first time I saw, probably 8 to 10 years ago is the first time I saw like a disc golf sign somewhere, and I was like, huh.
So we started around the same time in 2015, so
Oh,
about
okay.
a decade ago.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's seen crazy growth. COVID, there was a huge boom. A
Yeah.
lot of people went out
For
and
sure.
started playing. And then it's kind of slowed down a little bit, but we are totally still seeing growth, just a little bit slower now.
I bet it's one of those things that like the emergence of social media is like people are able to get exposure to it just by being connected online and kind of growing it that way.
Definitely.
Shout out social media.
Big fans.
Big fans. Yeah. Marketing girlies over here. Okay. So speaking of like these, you know, the sign that I saw, I remember it was it the 978 disc golf in Fitchburg?
Yes.
That's where, so I went to Fitchburg State. So I remember seeing that sign, but like where do you play? Like Katrina said, like she had a friend who has something set up in their backyard. Is it at a lot of different parks? Are there designated like courses, like a regular golf course? But just
What's cool about disc golf is that like your level of involvement in where you play can totally vary.
Right.
You can have the basket set up in your backyard depending on, you know, for putting, for throwing, whatever. You can, you know, the park I play out of the most is a state park that has a course set up in it. So you see them there sometimes. You have, in Massachusetts, there's a ton of private courses that are kind of dedicated plots of lands and businesses that are like, we are a disc golf course and like store or anything. It's very cool. So it's one of those things, once you start turning over rocks, you're like, oh, there's a lot of these everywhere. And Massachusetts actually has historically one of the #1 disc golf courses like in the world.
Oh, really?
In Leicester, very close to Worcester.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, you
Oh.
would never know.
Yeah.
But it's famous. Like people covet playing this course.
Wow.
Oh, that's so cool. And so do you guys travel to different, like as a group, are you traveling to different, and like what are your, involvements, I guess, as members of the board? What's your experience? Are you a pro disc golfer? Should I know this about you, Chantal? Like,
Maybe.
like,
Yeah, so there's a couple aspects to it. We serve on the board because we got really passionate about women's involvement in the sport. Our friend Julie is a co-founder, and her friend Mindy, they co-founded this in 2014. It kind of lulled down, and then in 2021, we kind of helped her reinvigorate it and grow it even more. But as players too, there's that aspect. We both do play in the female professional open division in local tournaments. So technically, yes, we are pro disc golfers.
okay. And so in that, like in those tournaments, you're traveling to some of these other courses, like the Leicester one and others?
Yep, there's that one. There's a ton of courses throughout the state. Events are run on. Throughout the region, events are run on. A few years ago, we also went to Wisconsin to what's called the United States Women's Disc Golf Championship. It's a traveling disc golf. It's called a major tournament. So there's this whole other aspect of disc golf that's a professional touring division. So there's a whole pro tour of people who do this professionally as their full-time job.
So how did you two get into disc golf originally, like before you were on the board?
I was like, so like many female disc golfers, the story starts where my now husband started playing.
Yeah.
And I walked around with him on the course because I was like, well, let me get like my steps in. I'm in nature. This is fun. And so my husband's best friend got him into it. And so they would play. I would walk with them, and they were both like, this time will pass way more fast for you if you were to actually like throw a disc.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And so like, and that was in like 2011. So like for about 4 years, I just played super casually. I like, everything was a Kim par, which was like a par 4 or 5, depending on like what I felt like that day. And with time, kind of saw the improvement, saw getting better, met other women, and it was like, oh, okay. Like eventually started doing tournaments, and it just kind of grew from there. Yes,
It's a slippery slope.
it is a slippery slope.
My origin story is very similar. My husband was like, come play. I'm like, nah, it's your thing. I'm not going to do it. And then I went and played. And then we went to a putting league, an indoor putting league, which we run one in West Boylston on Wednesdays. And that our friend Julie started, and I met other women in the sport. And then I went out and played with other women in the sport. And that kind of got me hooked. And I kept coming back for that.
Yeah.
And so are you both better players now than your husbands?
Ooh.
Sorry, I had to ask because I'm like, let's go, girls.
I'm definitely a better putter than he is, so I can beat him in that aspect for sure, but he throws far, and that's unfortunately a very good advantage.
Yes, I was gonna say I am. There have been like a couple of times, depending on like the situation, where I have beat him, but like 9 3/4 time out of 10, like he's gonna beat me. So
Okay.
he definitely is better than me.
Well, if they're watching this, I'm sure they're appreciative of that comment.
Shout out to Matt and Brandon.
So let's talk more about like what the organization NEWDG does for other women who are involved in the sport. Like, how are you organizing, bringing people together? What are you offering? Is it membership based?
Not really, kind of.
I would say not officially.
Yeah, so we have the last couple years reinvigorated what's called a bag tag. And basically it's this cute little tag that hangs on your bag, and it's numbered. And you come to courses or events with these tags, you hand them in, and then we redistribute them based on scores. So your goal is to kind of get the lowest tag number you can. That's like the best score of the day. And you kind of compete with other women for these tags. So they do pay in for the tag, and then we do that throughout the season. So it's kind of a membership. And then the other things we do are a women's series. So we gather tournament directors, which are mostly women, throughout the region, and we run a series of events that are just for women. One each month is kind of our goal, and one in each state is also our goal. We haven't hit that yet, but we're really close. So we have events in New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts this year.
Okay. And what was I going to say? So when you say like Northeast, one in each state, what does that include? Obviously New England, and then
New York and New Jersey.
Okay, New York and
I
New
would say,
Jersey.
so fun fact, we were New England women's disc golf.
I keep wanting to say New England.
For up until, what was it, 2020? Was it last year or the year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
So 2023. So we were New England, but including New York and New Jersey.
Okay.
And so we had a conversation amongst like the board members being like, this doesn't like, if we're including New York and New Jersey, we got to be Northeast. We got to kind of kind of rename ourselves to like further, to be more reflective of the areas that we serve, and we want to like focus on the growth end. So that was 2023.
Our rebrand.
And you were saying that you're trying to do certain events per month during the season. What is a disc golf season? Like, what time of year is that?
Great question. So in New England, we're kind of our own entity, and we have a tournament season, and then we have what's called New England Team Challenge season. So tournament season is when most of the tournaments are run, where you pay in and you can be paid a prize if you place high enough. That runs from spring through the fall.
Okay.
And then in the winter, we have what's called New England Team Challenge. So we're both on teams that plays once a month in the winter. And the way you play, you can win points for your team, and the team with the most points at the end of the day wins the match.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little bit different structure.
And that runs from fall to spring.
Yes.
So is that indoors?
No, it is
Stupid
not.
question.
It's not outdoors.
Nope. So
You're so brave.
We're like, yeah. I would say having the gear, like the Under Armour, the like hand warmers, the Brady pouch, the layers.
There's a strategy.
How long are you like outdoors for these?
All day.
From
like I would say like 8 to 4.
Yes.
8 to 4:30 probably.
No.
Yeah. It is.
No.
It is wild. I've played in snow. I've played in rain, wind. There was a tournament last year that I played in on Nantucket, and it literally like monsooned all day. And it was in Nantucket. Like shout out to Nantucket Disc Golf Course and the crew down there. Like it's one of my favorite courses ever, and especially in the state. And it was just like I've never been more miserable.
I feel like you must love to play.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, it's so annoying.
What's the total participant number in ETC now? Do you know?
I don't know offhand, but we could do quick math, right? So if there's, for New England Team Challenge, there's 7 pools at least, A through F, and then plus the 3 divisions in PIP, so really 10.
Yep.
Each pool has at least 8 teams with 25 people, so
that many people.
Someone do the math, because I'm not a mathematician. That is a lot.
It's a lot of people.
Close to like nearly 1,000.
Oh my god!
I don't know. I'm doing math in my head. That's
I
not
can't believe I even know one. Who are you?
Wow.
Okay, so one big thing that I saw when I was obviously stalking your website and your social media is this Home of the Queen of the Northeast series.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
Yes.
What is that? Tell us why that's like a big deal.
That is our women's series event. That's what it's called. It's called Queen of the Northeast. And it started out just in Massachusetts as the Bay State Queen series. Then we rebranded with our Northeast, Queen of the Northeast. And basically our series culminates in a finale at a privately owned course called Cricket Birch, run by Mandy. And we try to get as many people as we can and just have a fun tournament day with snacks, great players, and we crown the champions of the finale there when they win their division.
That's so fun.
Super fun day.
Oh, that's so fun. So, okay, if women are watching and listening to this and they're like, number one, it sounds fun for some reason, especially the winter part being outdoors. This sounds fun and I want to get involved. Or like, okay, I've played disc golf before, but like with my husband or whatever, and I want to play with other women and I want to meet people who do this. How can they get involved and like learn more and, I don't know, support you guys?
I'd say like coming to putting, like the putting league that is run is a great one. So as Chantal mentioned, it's Wednesdays through the winter at the schoolyard in West Boylston.
Ooh, fun.
That is a great place to meet women and kind of dip your toe in it, if you will. And then I would say even on Wednesdays in the kind of spring to early fall, we run a women's league out of Maple Hill Disc Golf Course, which is that course in Leicester that was always the number one course. Historically has kind of been in the top 2 or 3 for best courses in the world. we run a free women's league there every week. So that's been a great place for
very casual, very welcoming.
Yeah.
We don't even keep score. We just go throw and play.
Yeah. So like definitely don't feel intimidated
Exactly.
to show up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Sounds
and then we
good.
post all of those on our socials.
Okay, yeah, so
Cool.
people can follow on
Exactly.
social.
Yep.
So they can be reminded.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to say about growing the sport and just like what you're really trying to do here? Any last words on that?
I feel like there should be so many.
Yeah, right? I think the biggest thing, follow us on socials, come meet us. Don't be afraid to come out because we get the anxiety of trying to get out on the course by yourself or just with other women, not with like your partner, but just come and hang out with us because we're really cool.
That's awesome.
Our goal at all these events, I've said this when we talked about this before, is to create that like drunk girl in the bathroom energy.
Yes.
And every time
Love
I
it. She's sold now. She's like,
I know
"I'll try
exactly
it."
what you're talking about.
that energy where it's like you meet the stranger in the bathroom, you become best friends, you share like life secrets, and then like you follow
Yes.
each other on Instagram and never see. Except
Yeah.
we want to like continue to see each other,
Right.
but it's like that kind of like camaraderie and support, and like that's really what we aim to do. At whether it's a casual league, whether it's a tournament, whether it's putting league, whether it's we're just hanging out, whatever it is, like that's really kind of at the end of the day, like the atmosphere that's kind of safe, fun, supportive, integrated atmosphere that we're trying to create.
That is so
on the
fun.
course.
Honestly, I think you just sold at least half the audience.
I know.
We can all relate.
I know.
To drunk girl in the
I
bathroom
mean,
energy.
and my best friends these days are disc golfers. Kim and I were disc golf besties, then we became real life besties.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. Okay, so we like to end every episode by giving guests the opportunity to shout out other women-owned businesses, women in business, women who are running organizations for women. Who do you have in mind?
So I'm gonna shout out my sister-in-law's business, Design 24 in photography. She's the one who's done all of our like graphic design work, our logos.
Nice.
When we were kind of in the NEWDG like initial rebrand in 2021, we were like, we have these ideas, like we want to do X, Y, Z, and we kind of threw it at her. She took it, she ran with it, and then she like came up with the one that we're using now that was nothing like we thought we wanted. And as soon as we saw it, we're like, yeah, that's it, no problem. She's amazing, and so she's been wonderful to work with. So cannot recommend her business enough for your graphic design, website, photography needs.
Nice.
And I'm going to shout out, you already mentioned them, but Disc Golf 978
Yes.
is owned by Scott and Melissa Radford, so half woman owned, and they have, if you're ever looking to get into the sport, Meadowbrook Orchards, their pro shop is there. They'll talk to you about disc, they'll talk to you about whatever, and then they also have an apparel printing business that they run too, so if you ever need apparel printed, check them out.
Cool.
I was just like, not even just disc golf apparel, just
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
They
just
did.
any apparel.
any apparel. Yeah, they did our
Oh, that's
shirts.
Shirts.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we need girls just want t-shirts made locally.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
First available print apparel.
Love
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing. This has been enlightening and also so fun, and I hope that I can come out and like learn disc
Yes.
golf
Yes.
sometime.
We'd love to have you.
I'll bring
Yeah.
some kickboxing friends too. I'll be
Bring
like, come on,
on.
you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're a good group.
I'm
We
actually
have
working
fun.
with Joe on a charity tournament for May, so maybe you can come to that.
Okay, yeah. Oh my god, so fun. Okay, you'll come too.
Okay.
You're being roped in. You're being roped in. All right, thank you so much, ladies. And say
Thank
bye,
you.
Kira.
Good job, Kira.
Good job, Kira.
She's a
Podcast.
star.
Star.
First ever podcast.
Yes.
Welcome to Heart It or Hate It.
Heart it or hate it. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay, Heart It or Hate It, crock pot meals.
Heart it.
Heart it. Oh, I'm glad
1,000%.
we're on the same page.
I made one this week. I made a
what'd you do?
beef stew,
Oh, yummy.
and it was really good.
And you didn't bring me any.
It's gone.
Hmm.
Okay, the problem that I do have with crockpot meals is that I'll make the soup and then I literally like eat it like all night after it's ready,
Oh, yeah.
and then there's not that much left for the leftovers.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I made a literal whole pot of this meal.
yeah,
But like, you go in for a little bite. Then
Yeah.
You go in for a couple more bites.
Yeah.
A little later, you grab another bite.
I'm like, oh, I need to like pack this up and like store it away, and then I just like sit there and
Yep.
eat like a whole bowl more.
That's like one of the best parts, though, of a crock.
Yeah. I have been dabbling with trying to have ChatGPT run my life for me.
Yeah.
And
Hate that for you, by the way. If that were a segment on this segment, I would say hate it.
So I was like, oh, ChatGPT, like help me meal plan for the week, you know, like what meals should I make? What's the recipe? What should I buy at the grocery store? I tried it once, pretty bland. Probably not surprising that ChatGPT isn't a great chef. Didn't add that many seasonings, but it did give me the recipe for my beef stew, and it was actually really good.
Nice.
So,
well, wish I could have tasted it, but whatever. Yeah, for me, it's the convenience. I love to put stuff in a pot and then leave it for
yeah.
4, 6, 8 hours and not have to think about it. Love that for me.
Yeah. I know that there are some recipes where like it makes you do the extra steps and then put it in the crock pot, which like they're good. But yeah, oftentimes I just want to dump it in.
I just want to do a one pot.
Forget about it. Yeah. So hard it. 1000%.
Hell yeah. All right.
Heart it or hate it, bath bombs?
I'm going to go hate it. I don't do baths.
Okay.
I have, listen, I live in an okay apartment. I mean, it's a good apartment, but it's an okay apartment.
Yeah.
So I have a shower tub.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I don't have obviously, like most people, I don't have a separate bathtub, but I have a shower tub, but also my shower tub is just kind of nasty.
Yeah.
Like, not through no fault of my own. It is just old.
Yeah.
Obviously, I keep it very clean, but it's old, so I would never bathe in that.
That's fair.
I would only do a stand-up shower with only my feet touching the floor.
I will say heart it. I am a bath girly. I go through phases.
But do you have a nice bath or you have a shower tub?
I have a nice bath.
Oh, fancy.
So I live in a condo. Two people that owned it before us, they put in a jacuzzi bath. The jets don't work super great. So that's actually really, really annoying because they're just kind of like gross. So I do have to like vigorously clean those and like get in there and try to turn the jets on just to like get any of the gunk out. I know. Jesse thinks it's disgusting.
I mean,
but
baths in general, we could debate. I feel like
we could.
Sitting in your own filth.
Yeah, I usually shower after a bath. Actually,
right? Like I would want to be clean. I would want to shower and then I would want to clean the tub.
Yeah.
And then take a bath. And like all that for what?
Yeah. Well, I make it a vibe. I bring the candles, I bring the music, I read my book, I bring wine, I bring chocolate. I make it like a whole to do. This I think kind of started happening in the pandemic. It was like, like
self-care.
Right. How am I going to like find entertainment when I can't leave my house? So I will say I'm a fan of bath bombs. It's not my favorite bath accessory. I prefer.
Ooh, what is your favorite bath accessory?
Epsom salts. I like the salts.
Yeah,
that's nice. But yeah, I'll say heart it. Oh, but I was saying about my bath. So it's deep. It's like a really deep, and it's got like a nice, like it's nice.
Oh,
it's
good.
A nice bath to sit in.
That's nice.
Yeah.
All right.
So what's next?
I had heart it or hate it. Incense or like the essential oil like diffusers.
Sure. I'm kind of torn. I guess I'll go hate it just because I don't use them.
Yeah, so I have one. I don't really know. You can tell I'm not like very well entrenched in this world because I don't even know if I'm calling it the right thing. But it's like you plug it in to the wall.
Yeah.
You fill the base with water.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put a couple drops of an essential oil of your choosing in, and then you put the cover on, and it just kind of steams like cool mist out.
Yeah.
Is that the right thing that I'm talking about?
Okay. I actually do have one of those, and I bought it again back in the pandemic when I was a plant mom and I needed more humidity.
I got it for like a Secret Santa gift several years ago, and I didn't use it for the longest time. Like I didn't even open the box for the longest time, and then when I started working from home in my current apartment now, I was like, oh, I need like a work from home ritual.
Yeah.
And so like I do certain things every morning. And one of them was I'd fill up my essential oil diffuser, turn it on. And like, I felt like the aromatherapy of it would set the mood.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for a few months and then I stopped and literally have never used it ever again since.
Yeah.
So I have it sitting on my shelf, like on a shelf in my living room, and I'm just like, should I use it again?
Yeah, I have mine sitting. I did read that some essential oils are not good for cats.
Oh, right. Yeah,
So then I was like,
I gotta think about my boys.
yeah. And then I was like, now I have to research which ones I can and can't use. And
Yeah.
that's just,
Maybe I'll use mine again. I guess I'll go hate it for now because, like, I don't actually hate it, but, like, I don't care enough to use it. So clearly I don't heart it.
Yeah, same.
All right.
Okay, my last one is heart it or hate it, ebooks.
I'm gonna go hate it.
Okay.
And I know that you're heart it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I prefer to read a real book versus an ebook, but I do read ebooks. So, yeah.
I haven't been into reading lately. However, when I do read, I want a physical book. Like, a lot of times if I'm reading, I'm like on the beach.
Yeah.
Or at the pool.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not whipping out a freaking Kindle or something. I don't have a Kindle or an iPad or anything like that. But I don't want to read on my phone either. I do this all day long.
Yeah.
I want to read a book.
Yeah.
See the difference? Do you see the difference there? It's this.
You know, it's a big.
My face lightened.
There's a big debate actually about what's considered reading a book online when people do audiobooks.
Audiobooks. Yeah.
People get real mad when you say that. It is interesting.
I think those are just book snobs.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, do you know how many hours of podcasts I listen to every week? But I don't read books.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
The podcast people aren't out here being like, uppity about it. Anyways.
Yeah, I'll say heart it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's it for Heart It or Hate It this week. Just a reminder, we play this game on Instagram stories every week with you. So we give our answers and then we put them up for you to vote on. So, like, if you have input, if you deeply heart or deeply hate one of the things we're talking about, you should be voting on the Instagram stories.
Absolutely.
And messaging us, honestly. Like, we love it when people DM us and are like, absolutely not. And we're like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's real fun.
So follow us on Instagram, pay attention to our stories, and, find us wherever you get podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. See you next week.
Later, ladies.